grinding as usual.
And you've been in the news lately too.
Yeah, I believe I have. Yeah. I mean,
You were like the first person. Well, no, you were mentioned with two others in the Louis C.K. Stuff.
it was actually 5 of us.
5 total.
5
okay.
total, yeah. But yeah, we went on record.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you were doing a pilot at the time with David Arquette and
Courtney
Cox producing,
Yeah.
right?
I was producing, writing, and starring in it. Yeah, and that's when it happened. And
And what was Louis' role on that? He was acting.
A guest star.
He was a guest star.
yeah,
He did that as a guest star.
it was actually right before he did Louis, his show.
Uh-huh.
So he was a big deal,
Yeah.
and he was a guest star, on the pilot. And yeah, I mean, it's a terrible.
He never did anything in front of you. He asked you to if he could do that, right?
Correct.
I
did not.
that idea.
Yes,
to you.
he asked if he could masturbate in front of me in my dressing room as I was walking to set to shoot my scene.
He didn't say like, just kidding, eh?
No, because he wasn't kidding.
No, because she said she reminded him that he's married.
He has a
and
wife
had
and
ki-
a pregnant
daughters.
wife and a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, no, and I was like, that's fucking crazy. Like, what do you?
And you had no interaction with him before this
That
pilot?
would throw me
Or
off.
Like what a weird
Throw you
question.
off? Yeah, it's a bit.
To a loop, like,
It's and you're walking
Yeah.
onto the set to shoot a scene. Like, it's a really.
Yeah.
There's a lot wrong with it. There's a lot wrong with it. So yeah, and I it was time to, because the one thing that I'm actually going to be publishing an op-ed about my experience, because the New York Times doesn't say what the they state the facts, but there's a lot more that goes into, and what there's consequences that are far deeper and far-reaching, more than what just happened.
Because you also, people ask, well, why didn't you talk about it, or why didn't you tell somebody? And you actually reported it to Courtney and David.
I did.
And
What'd
you
they say?
went through the proper channels.
They gave me the option to have him removed and shut down production, or to keep going, and I didn't want to be responsible. If you can imagine, like, I'm saying the word responsible when I didn't do anything,
I
but
know.
that's the part of it. It's the catch-22 of it all. I just didn't want to be the person who did that, because you just don't want it's a terrible position to be in. It's a terrible decision to have to make. Yeah. It's a day that you should be excited about, that you've worked so hard. We pitched the show all over town, and Fox bought it, and we were excited about being there. You finally get to tape day. You're in hair and makeup. You're walking to set, and then you're sitting in a dressing room having a conversation and being forced to make a decision that no one should have to make that decision. And so it sucks. It sucked then. It sucked all the years following it, for many reasons, which I will talk about. And it has been terrible since speaking out. It's been
Really?
terrible. Oh,
Really?
yeah. It's been
Backlash
terrible.
for you?
Oh, yeah.
From other comics? Or people
Well,
in
a lot of the
industry?
comedians have been absolutely silent about it, which is upsetting, because if it's going to be a safe environment and truly equal for everybody, and we can protect one another, then you have to address that it happened. You have to admit that it happened. But it's been pretty quiet. It's been real quiet, and it's been really upsetting to watch people I respect and call friends, like, just outright defend the behavior, because hey, he didn't rape us, so how, it's not that big of a deal. It's like that kind of talk, and it's like, wow, it's not been cool.
people don't never think about, oh man, that was they never say like, oh, that was Joey's sister though. Remember before that when something bad happens, but that was Joey's sister. Do you happen to Joey's sister? There's no talk like that. Like, that could be somebody's sister,
There's no
somebody's daughter.
personalizing who that.
Yeah.
Making that person a person. It's just this.
When
It's
I was
just
a
this
kid, that was
People we don't
yeah.
know.
Right.
Yeah.
Like there's no.
Right, it's
humanizing,
very
yeah.
strange, and it's
They
like,
was, I know that girl. Like, she's a good friend of mine. Never
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
exactly. Well, then, like, also the late night talk show hosts, every night they are ripping on every single male predator that's being taken down daily, right? Not one has mentioned Louis C.K. That's their colleague.
Yeah.
And
Well,
he did it.
that's the thing
That's
that's
the
weird
thing. They're
about
trying
it.
to
It's
reconcile.
gross.
But it was all about Bill
Yeah.
Cosby back then.
Yeah.
Everybody's kind of like holding their weight back right now to see kind of what happens. A lot of dudes are afraid to speak out on it. You know,
But
the
I
friendship
think when
that's
Do you
in it
think
and
that?
stuff.
Do you think that? Well,
I
here's
think
the,
it is.
But what are they afraid of? Answer me this: what exactly could
Nothing.
Conan O'Brien be afraid to say? And here's the thing, too.
Gotta back up another redhead, bro.
yeah.
It's only two of
Yeah,
us.
there's only two of us. You got
Derek Carter's bald.
But you know the whole thing that he worked there, the whole, you know what I mean, all that thing. Friends.
party starter.
It's like
But here's the thing. Let me address that because I get it, and I've thought a lot about this. I've had 12 years to think about it. Okay, so, and it's terrifying to speak out. Like the month leading up before this thing came out, I can't even put into words what it felt like. It still is awful because it's not what defines me. You know, I have a lot of accomplishments and I've been in this business a long time and done a lot of great things. And to be known as his victim is humiliating
Or
for
accuser.
me. Accuser. Yeah, it's like,
That's what they call him, though. They don't call him victims. Now. They call him accusers.
Yeah, they don't call them victims.
No,
well, no, they
they-
call us victims because he admitted it.
Oh, right.
So we're victims.
Yeah.
But if they don't admit it, it's
You're accuser.
alleged accusers.
Right.
So here's the thing. I want to address what you were saying. It's like, you know, I have a lot of friends in comedy who I love, and a lot are men. I love them so much. And if it came out that like one of my guy friends in comedy was pulling his baby dick out and acting like just being a repugnant, filthy animal, right?
That's funny you say that because Martin Moreno told me one time that they were at backstage and he was going to take off with a chick and then another comedian took out his penis and it was a baby dick. And Martin goes, that other girl got grossed out. And he goes, why did you leave him there? I don't want to be with that guy. It's just gross. You know, I can't leave my friend out there with that little thing. And Martin will verify who that guy was if he was here. But yeah, he just whipped it out like without even like no hello, no nothing.
That's not okay.
And they
by
just
the
whipped
way.
it out.
Like,
It was just.
it's not
cool,
okay.
man.
She
It's
was
not
a
okay.
fan. She was a fan of the show.
oh, that's
But he
even
just-
more
Terrible. That's
fucked up.
it.
Back,
That's
she just
it.
whipped it out, and then
See-
Martin goes, bro, he just changed everything right there, man. Because you know we were probably going to get laid, but now it looks like we're gross.
Bunch of
He goes,
savages.
I felt part of that. I felt like I was a pervert now because I knew the guy. But fuck that, bro. I left that motherfucker. I left.
Good.
I took off.
Good.
I told the girl, you know what? I don't know. I don't really hang out with this guy that much. I didn't know he had a baby dick. But that's gross, right? A lot of, I'm not the
beyond-
one. I've never been the one to do that, but like just whip it out, you know?
Well, because
I
that's
ain't got
not
that kind of
that's not
confidence.
appropriate.
Because I have a baby dick. When it's,
Well,
No, it's
so
not
what-
even about
but
that.
still,
You know,
but
it's
I just know I can't.
because it's
I
not
it didn't even cross my mind.
exactly.
That's the thing. Like,
I mean, I show my
First of all-
gut, but that's part of the act.
well,
yeah, that's okay. Show your gut all day.
Joe Diaz too. As many times he showed his testicles on stage, it was only on stage. He never whipped it out in
He's
front of
not
everybody.
victimizing
No, no,
somebody.
Yeah.
There's a big difference. Like
Cuban
what the
egg
hell?
roll,
I
you know
whip her
what I'm
last cocksucker.
The cape and everything.
but yeah, like if it,
Yeah, he had a cape on.
if you like if
well, there you
if you approached me and asked me if you could masturbate in front of me, or you just started doing that as a thing, you're my husband. That's gross. I don't want to watch you masturbate. I don't want you to
I wouldn't even
propose that
ask.
to me. You wouldn't even ask to do that.
I just do it.
Just
anyway.
show
So
behind
for
you.
some-
Hey.
For somebody to be either a colleague
You know,
or somebody you
manguera.
just started working with
No,
for
it's
the
wrong.
first time,
There's
Yeah.
so many levels of
completely
wrong. It's in the workplace. It's predatory.
Grab-assing.
It's past
beyond
grab
grab-assing.
And now you were
beyond.
saying that at that time he was a big deal.
Yeah.
Well, you read his statement, didn't you?
Nah,
Oh,
I didn't get too much into
Sit down and have a read on it. He talks about how he
Where he
wielded
admitted it
his
and stuff,
power,
yeah.
and he
Okay.
was. It's not about. It's about power and breaking people down. It's really dark shit. But I want to address what you were saying about the guys like
Not coming out
standing
on
back
him,
and
yeah.
being scared, and all the late night talk show hosts not addressing it. No one talking. Everyone acting so shocked and stunned. Here's the deal. I put myself in their position because I'm a decent human being and can do that. And it sucks. Like if if it came out about someone I loved, a very close friend of mine, I'd be super upset about it. I'm not going to lie. And I wouldn't know what to say. And I like Sarah Silverman in her statement, I would probably feel the same way. Like, I don't really want to address this because it's uncomfortable. I loved that person. I never had that experience with that person, but it's terrifying to find out that this is what that person can do and is capable of. I get it. I get that it's uncomfortable. I get that people don't want to talk about it. They don't necessarily know what to say. But I also think too fucking bad. That's how I felt for 12 years. So you better talk about it. You better address it, and you better acknowledge it, because if you don't, you're condoning it. And that pisses me off. So it's like, you don't know what to say. You're uncomfortable. All right, well, take a few days. Think on it. Sit down and think on it. Talk to your family about it. Talk to that person about it. But to go out every night on a late night talk show and deliver monologues and rip on every single person.
On Ray Moore.
All of them, and Matt Lauer,
Yeah.
and the list goes on and on and on.
Weinstein.
Every
Even Fox
day.
News. Oh, it was horrible.
Oh, Riley and
What
blah,
Al
blah,
Franken did.
all of them. So it's like, well,
Piers Morgan.
how come no
Willie
one's,
Barcena.
you know what I'm saying?
I don't
What?
think it's a fear so much as it is.
I don't think it is either.
I think they like the person, of course, and it's hard to reconcile that this person
Which
that
is
they
fine.
like. Yeah, and that's
Which is fine.
understandable. And what you're saying about Sarah
of
Silverman's
us.
statement is true. I think that she put it into good words. Like, I love this person. I thought he was great, and it never happened to me, but I am shocked. I'm disappointed. I'm sad.
And what he
'cause-
did was wrong.
Yeah, and Pamela Adlon kind of said the same thing. She's she was his wife on Lucky Louie.
She has her own little show,
She's
right?
the voice of Bobby Hill. She has her own show that he produced. But she said the same thing. She was like, I'm shocked and I'm disappointed, and I have to figure out how I feel about all this, and she didn't say any more than that.
Yeah,
And it
she
is.
probably should.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
she probably should say, like, I do know how I feel about it. You can't do that to people.
Yeah.
You can't do it. It's not just women either. It's like there's a lot of men who've dealt with some real gross creeper situations too, like with Kevin Spacey too. Like, it's pretty gross. Like,
And Terry Crews, the guy the agent grabbing his package. Like,
So, I do know though that there's this weird allegiance in the comedy world about not addressing it more so than anywhere else.
And
I
I-
hope that changes.
and I think because it was him, because Louis was held on such a pedestal by
Yeah.
so many
Hell yeah.
comics, and revered as like, okay, the new, Carlin level sort of person. They're waiting for their special to come out each year, and and then they have to kind of eat crow. Everybody kind of has to eat crow and go, this guy isn't as great as we thought.
Wait, you mean
know.
his masturbation bits aren't hilarious?
I mean, his whole act was always masturbation.
I know, isn't that crazy?
Always.
Interesting.
Always.
It's interesting, right?
Trippy, huh?
Right? Very
Coming to life.
surreal. Yeah. But I did admire the work he did,
Sure.
and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But I think he's absolutely disgusting. And I couldn't.
I can't imagine somebody asking me that.
Yeah, it's good times, you guys. It's the holidays.
Well, now I know why he had different black T-shirt all the time.
Why?
They're all stained.
Gross. Oh my god. Ugh. Well, we talked about it.
Yeah, we talked
Right.
about it.
Were you thinking, I'm not going to talk about this? We're not going to talk about this, or we're going to talk to her about this?
You read a book about it?
I wanted to bring it up.
Hell no.
No,
You
she's gonna
did?
She's going to write an op-ed piece, she said.
Up it.
I'm
opinion piece,
I'm
right.
gonna publish an op-ed piece about my experience and what the whole thing.
When it happened, did anybody walk up to you probably go, man, you better just shut up, man, don't say nothing.
No, because I didn't. He didn't do it in front of people.
Oh.
It was just to me, and then I went and told the head of production. Then she went and told Courtney and David, and then that's where it left it. It was up to me what to do, and then I just made the decision to
And
do
that's
nothing.
that's the shitty part, even though...
Oh, there's a lot of shitty
I mean,
parts.
that's I know, a lot of shitty parts, but
Yeah.
that's, as a woman, you get that in that situation a lot. well, what do you want to do about this? Do you want to do this or this? And they're both really shitty choices.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I don't want all these people's jobs resting on my
Can you
shoulders.
imagine?
I know. And then you've got that
I was
guilt.
craft server in that job.
Thank you very much.
And
Now I
then
don't
you've
have a
got
job.
that guilt. And then
That's right.
so you're kind of in trouble in your own mind. You've
Oh,
done
you're in
poorly.
trouble. Yeah.
And you didn't do anything wrong. But as a woman, you get a lot of those situations.
You were at the wrong place with the wrong time, and
Yeah.
you came face to face with a monster.
And it doesn't
And
always
sucks.
it doesn't always happen with sex or whatever, but it's just you're often given that responsibility to make that choice. And I don't think guys are given those choices like that. You know what I mean? It's kind of a woman thing. It's like this almost like a mom thing, like, okay, I'm the mom, so I have to choose between this or this. I don't get a choice that I really want, Anyway.
It's interesting. No, that's what you're saying this conversation is good. Conversation is good. It needs to happen. I mean, people who have children, and daughters and sons, and they need to be talking about this and being like, hey, guess what? It's not okay to know a friend of yours is doing that and lie about it or condone it. It's not okay to do it to a girl. You can't shove a girl. You can't pull your dick out. You can't masturbate to fruition in front of a girl. You can't assault. You can't harass. All those things are not okay. Mm-hmm. And it's just like it's for the first time ever. It's really weird how at the same time, and uncomfortable and repulsive, but needed, this whole thing the conversation has become daily. And I think that eventually it won't, but maybe there'll be change. I hope there is, for sure.
Where is SAG in all this, by the way? Because
Yeah,
I was wondering, we were talking about this,
the
SAG,
union.
like SAG-AFTRA, you know what I mean? Like, they haven't said one statement
Because they're part of the
about,
work environment.
what they are technically. Like, if you get hurt on the job,
Yeah, like if I when I had a job at Dodger Stadium, I was part of the union.
Yeah.
And if I had a problem with
go to your
anything, I was
union
my
head.
shop stewardess, and
Yeah.
he'll take it up with the owner of the place. But there's nobody there at these. Like when you're working in a movie, there's no union guy there.
there's
to
nobody
go
there on
protect
set.
you.
Yeah, and
Well, there should be.
there should be. But if
Yeah.
you get hurt on the job on a set,
Like they're there,
You
like
go to
oh.
SAG.
How come they haven't addressed what
But,
happened?
Haven't said a thing.
because
Like-
AFTRA and
Ah.
SAG, they're more worried about, are you getting those hours?
Yeah,
Well,
I
They're
know.
worried more about hours.
Well, I get your emails from SAG-AFTRA, right, all the time. They're just always about, workshop on this, workshop on that, whatever. Where's the email that, in light of the recent events, we want you to be aware of our policy
New
and
guidelines.
what your
Yeah.
Not
what
one
your recourse
about
is.
how we feel
One.
about sexual harassment, SAG and AFTRA. Not one article.
That's crazy.
This is what your recourse
means
is
they don't
if
have
it
your
happens
back.
to you.
Not
Yeah.
at all.
Not at all.
Because do you know what to do if you're
Just keep
sexually
paying those
harassed
dues.
on the set now?
No, I
no
didn't.
new
'Cause
information.
I learned
any
now.
other job with a union,
Yeah.
if this were to happen, the whole play will get shut down.
Or
There's
not even a union, a corporation. You
The-
know who to go to.
HR will
to
get on your
report
ass
it.
right away.
Oh yeah,
You know
that
you
would
can report
not
it
be.
to
Yeah.
Yeah.
But right here in the movie, still you gotta go to the what? First AD.
You don't even know.
You don't even
You
know.
don't even know.
You don't even
You
know.
do, although speaking of those Hertz commercials, when I did do those, they had a big meeting before that. It was a sexual harassment meeting that discussed.
You know I'm an OJ, right?
Here is what you don't do.
Right.
But nothing. There's nothing that's like, hey, when you're on a sitcom or when you're on a set shooting a pilot, and a predator approaches you and says in a real creepy way,
Yeah. If anybody in a set.
yeah, what are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to stop in that moment, ring a bell, raise your hand?
Like at jobs sites, there's signs,
Yeah.
for harassment. There's signs for discrimination.
posters,
There's
things.
signs for
In the break room and all that.
being
Yeah.
dirty.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah,
there's
that's a
none of
good
them
question.
one
There's
in
all
a set.
sorts of rights, and you have the right to go report it, but who? To
But,
whom? Like,
yeah.
Who
That's
do you
a
go to?
really
To El Canal.
They've been the most silent, I think, of all this. In all
haven't-
this.
I have not even thought about that.
We were talking about that the other day. Like, where is SAG?
We should be awarded free health care for the following year.
Yeah, man.
For therapy if we want. I've gotten death threats.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Really?
Since coming out, really?
Yeah.
From fans or from professionals, or do you know?
Like, yeah, who's
Red-
Oh, not
Redheads.
professionals. The professionals are just more
Silent.
silent, just staring
Waiting
silently.
for it to like blow over.
Yeah, so they can have him back on their show. Yeah.
Star power,
Yeah,
baby.
yeah. But
Ghost
no,
Rider
it's just
sitcom.
his compulsive masturbating fans who were like, going at me on social media.
The
Saying
jerky
that,
boys.
Masturbation's overrated, man. Come on.
yeah, it's crazy.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Right?
People are
Gilbert, they asked
tripped,
Gilbert Gottfried on something. He was showing his family. There's a documentary on Gilbert Gottfried and his family. Oddly enough, the family he's kept quiet for years. But he was talking about Louis C.K. and he said, "I prefer to keep that just between me and myself. I don't like to involve other people in that behavior." Like, who does? I just don't understand.
Well,
the
it's
public
I don't
it's
think
a
I don't think that I really in my opinion I'm no psychologist, and I'm also no prude either. Like I'm not known for being like really clean or PC,
I
but
think as a female comic, you can't be too PC about that stuff because it's
it's like-
around you, the discussions,
and
that
it's
everybody says.
yeah, boners are funny, balls are
Yeah.
funny. But here's the thing. I don't think what he did or what he does or what any of these guys do, I truly don't believe. Again, I'm not a doctor, not even close. I have a 7th grade math level. But I will tell you this, I think that I feel like these men have, this is more about power. This is a sickness. This is something much, much darker than just like, hey, I got a boner here and I'm just
Help
gonna
me get rid of it.
It's not that. I really
me
don't
rub
think
it out.
no, it's more about there's something like predatory. It's deviance. It's
Like, I know I'm doing a guest star role on this show you're producing, but I'm more powerful.
But here comes Steven
That's-
Seagal in his bathrobe.
that's right. That's right.
Seagal.
There's something dark about it. Like
Yeah, you're gonna give me this movie, but if you see Steven Seagal in a kimono and sandals, stay away.
yeah, right.
And I'm your SAG-AFTRA union shop.
Hair's all
owners.
down, huh?
SAG after a union. I should call my SAG after a union
That's what their
rep.
official
Yeah, where-
policy is if you're
where were you?
harassed on a set.
Really?
Because they haven't said anything. I haven't seen one thing come across from their mouths about, just in case, we want you to know. Because
Are they busy?
I
Are
used
they
to
so
work
busy?
in HR and recruiting and staffing and stuff. And if
Pam.
something happens like this and the environment is such where all this is coming out left and right in the industry, we would put out a statement. Look, in light of recent events, we want you to know you have a confidant here. You have a group of people you can go to. You don't feel comfortable with this manager. You
You're
can go to
not
these
alone.
managers. You're not alone. There's
Right.
nothing from SAG, and it's a different. I mean, we have to admit there's a different environment in entertainment in general, but when there's SAG-AFTRA as a representative, they're responsible as well. I believe that's my feeling.
I think you're 100% correct. And maybe I'll make a
Thank you.
call.
Make a call.
And maybe I'll record it and put it on speakerphone.
Call that chick from Beverly Hills 90210.
Oh,
What
yeah,
chick?
Gabrielle.
Gabrielle.
yeah.
Carteris.
Oh, yeah.
She's the president.
She beat Isa Morales.
Say, look, I voted for you.
Man, what happened?
I
Yeah, what
voted
happened
for
there?
you over Isa Morales,
And you're a woman.
And you're a
who
woman.
got pregnant.
Yeah, but this stuff gives who got pregnant. I mean, seriously though, it's happening to men too,
Yeah.
not just women.
No, it
So
is.
it's all over.
I
the
remember
place.
this Willie Barcena. He used to go pick up scripts from his manager. Not even his manager, the guy with scripts. He used to always answer. His office was in the living room. That's the first warning right there.
Little sign.
When he would answer the door in his underwear and no socks.
Ew.
And Willie, they were his kids.
What do you think about it? Like, what if you knew a comedian that did? Did you know Louis?
No.
Oh,
Only when it
But
was
he's
that-
known some skeeves. Some creeper guys.
Oh yeah.
What would you do if that was your guy friend? What would you do?
We would beat his ass.
You would beat his ass. What would you do?
If somebody asked me what I would think about it, I would probably tell them what I would think about it.
What
It's
do you
not-
think about it?
It's not cool to be doing that shit, dog. Come
Listen,
on.
man,
Really,
you're
fool?
gonna get arrested, dog.
You can't go. Go get a little prostitute or something. Can't go to Backpage or some shit.
I work
Let
with
it all out.
I don't
I
know
work
what
with
back pages.
I work
but-
with comedians, man, that have been so loaded that they're knocking on the only comedians door. I work with a bunch of comedians, and there was one female, and I remember that one comedian knocking at her door at night. Hey, what are you doing?
Oh
Let's
my
party.
God.
And like, what are you doing, you fucking pervert?
Yeah.
But she started to joke around. She was telling us like it was funny, like, Rudy, this guy was all loaded on my. This guy was all loaded, knocking on my deer. Yeah,
That-
man.
But still, man,
Let me in.
if the
It's
comedian doesn't get
creepy.
laid, nobody gets
That's
laid.
right,
bro.
dog. What's up, fool?